What's up, guys? Welcome back to Breakout Trading. So today is a Saturday, so the markets are closed, except for the cryptocurrency markets. And even though I don't trade those during the weekends because it has low volume, what I did today was just kind of a fresh analysis of where I think Ethereum and Bitcoin are headed in the near future and where they've come from. So just an outlook on how you could profit from some coming volatility. So we'll start here, and these are all screenshots as of today, so they're extremely recent. And the reason I'm just doing screenshots and not actually on TradingView is because I like to be able to draw here. Okay, so this is the total market cap of Bitcoin and all other altcoins. So as you can see, everyone knows the big blow off top in 2018, and then ever since then what we've been doing is making lower and lower highs on a weekly chart, so that's pretty significant until recently. So this is the first ever actually higher high that we've made with like the whole cryptocurrency market. So it's been over 2 years, so about 2.5 years since we've made a higher high on a weekly scale. So that alone is extremely significant. Secondly, you can see the first time we came up into this this range here. This is kind of like the range I'm talking about right here. You can see that the first time we came up, it was more of like a blow off toppy, you know, definitely a huge wick up and then immediately rejection, and we immediately flipped this whole area into resistance right here and then had a pretty big sell off, and you can see that it acted as resistance right here and resistance right here. So this was not a good attempt, this first attempt here last year in the summer, around July. So this is a very clear rejection area, so we sold off pretty hard. And then recently though, ever since the Corona crash here where all the markets tanked, Bitcoin and Ethereum and all the altcoins have been rallying with the traditional stock market very nicely. And you can see that instead of getting a quick little wick rejection like we did here, we've actually closed multiple weekly candles up here. So instead of kind of a pop and drop, it's been more of a pop, a sell-off, but this time this is a critical hold right here of support. So we're now flipping this resistance level into support, which is absolutely huge on a macro time frame for the entire market. So what I think could happen now is that we could kind of just range in this area for a bit. Any sort of breakdown below this low that we put in, and these tops would be very bearish. So that coincides with the Bitcoin price of 10,000, this would be. And I'm not sure about Ethereum, but Bitcoin below 10,000 is very bearish, and that's kind of what this looks a lot like the Bitcoin chart right now too. That being said, a break above these highs, which coincides with the Bitcoin breaking 12,500, is extremely bullish and would likely lead to a next macro bull run. So yeah, overall the market cap chart looks really good. It's kind of like a catch-22 right now because I don't want to buy at the high of this whole range. You can see that we kind of have in like a low and a high here. So you never want to buy at like the top of the range. You usually always want to be shorting here with a stop loss right above, so when you're wrong it's an easy loss. So this isn't necessarily the best place to be buying. That being said, any sort of breakout would be an indication to definitely begin buying, because technically the next macro support is all the way down here at 160 billion, and people have been saying that crypto is going to pump for years, and it hasn't really. It's like it did in 2017. So it also wouldn't be crazy if we came all the way back down to this range low. You know, you can kind of see that we're just ranging in this channel right here. So that's also something. But as long as we hold above $10,000 on Bitcoin, I am very bullish for this to break to the upside. Overall, the whole crypto market overall bullish. So we'll start off with Bitcoin. So here's the Bitcoin weekly chart. You can see it looks similar to that market cap chart we just went over. What I wrote here is it looks like Bitcoin could accumulate in this range of below of around 10,000, which is this support to the high of the range, which is 12,500. Break below this level of 10,000 would be bearish. and obviously a break above this level of 12,500, we kind of have this 14K resistance from that top we put in last summer. But I think we might, if we'd probably have enough momentum once we break 12.5. Maybe we'll chop around there for a bit, but then once we're above 14K, there really isn't much resistance at all on this chart until 20K, and above 20K would be pretty significant resistance. So I don't think that it will just blast right through 20K, but I do think that if it gets through 12.5 and 14K, then we could rally to 20K really quickly. If we get to 20K, I would probably trim a bunch of my holdings and wait to see if we hold in this area, or if it looks something like this, or we just get a huge rejection off and then come back down. Also, Bitcoin is holding the 236 Fibonacci retracement from the corona lows here to its recent high in August, and that's a very bullish sign. It's holding above this accumulation zone right here that we put in early spring, and above the 236. So like I said, as long as we're over $10,000, Bitcoin still remains bullish. Now zooming in a bit here, so now we're on a daily chart, and what I've said here is the red box is daily resistance from August, and the green box is support from August. You can see we're in this range in August right here, and then we broke below that range at the start of September, tested it as resistance once, and now it looks like we're testing it as support again. So what I wrote there is that this green box is very key, a very key level. So if we're above this, I would say overall prices look pretty bullish to get into the red zone and possibly above. And below this green box, I'm expecting it to act as resistance again and us to travel down to 10K. So right now where the prices are, they look bullish. I think that the breakout of this triangle looks really good. I think that this looks like a bull flag, and that we are likely to test at least 12K in the coming weeks to months. So there's a possibility that we test this area, just float back up like we did here. See how we're in this whole range here? And I think that we could do something similar to that. So we're kind of, once we got into this range, we could get up to 12K, and now that Bitcoin's back in that range, I think that it could easily drift back up to 12K. Above that, I would be skeptical until we see a decisive break above. So this is still very big resistance on the daily. So for me, if I was to trade this right now, I would take a long. So that's kind of where this comes into. The 4 hours, so we're keep zooming in here. So ever since we broke out of this this consolidation range, it looks really bullish. You can see that, to me, this looks like a clear bull flag. You have the pull right here, and we're making a nice range. Any break above like 11,600 right here, I think we'll see a move up to 12K. So that could definitely be a tradable breakout right there. And then obviously your stop losses right below these two pivot lows there. And this looks even more clear on an hourly chart. So break above these highs could definitely see up to 12K, and then a stop loss right below here would be the trade I would take. Or the inverse is if it broke below this level, what I would do is wait for the price to break, kind of float back up, and then I would enter in short here with the stop loss into this range. So risking, this would be what I would hope would act as resistance if we broke below this range. So you could, if the price is anywhere down here, you could enter into a short with your stop loss right here and look for this thing to come down towards 10K. Obviously, the traditional stock market would have to be moving in the same direction as your trade. So that's what I'm watching right now. Just whatever way this thing wants to break with the traditional markets, I will be on board, long or short. I have no emotional attachment to the direction of this price. So that's Bitcoin. And then Ethereum, you can see once again kind of has the same vibe as that market cap chart. We have this long sort of accumulation phase, and then we have now broken above actually this high here, which is pretty bullish. Yeah, Ethereum looks pretty good. It's a little bit tougher to read on the daily chart than Bitcoin, but you can still see that kind of it's doing the same thing as Bitcoin, where in the August we are kind of holding this level as support and bouncing off it, and then once we broke below it, it was acting as resistance. And one very clear level on Ethereum that I'm watching is $400, so a nice round whole number. You can see that we have these 3 candle highs right there. So if we break above 400, I think that that is a phenomenal long signal, and I would look it to go. That would have to be with Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin breaks out, Ethereum could definitely follow. And if Bitcoin goes up to its high of its range around 12.5K to 12K, I think Ethereum could make it to around 460 to 500. So that is a very tradable move right in here. So I'm watching 400 on Ethereum for a breakout trade, as well as around 11,600 on Bitcoin for a breakout trade. I would short Bitcoin if we broke below this range, whereas Ethereum, I'm not really too sure on a short. Yeah, I don't know. It's not as clear really, because we're already kind of below this range. So technically, Ethereum looks more bearish right now than Bitcoin. Yeah, like I said, the whole Ethereum chart is a little bit more hard to read right now than Bitcoin. It kind of looks like we're just putting in a massive accumulation, and we'll see which way it goes. Once again, following the traditional markets. Yeah, guys, so that's about it. Keep an eye on Bitcoin. It's the king. It always will be. It'll decide the direction of the market, as well as the S&P will decide the direction. So if I enter in any trades and you guys want to update from this video, I will do so. Anyways, guys, that's it. Adios.